Welcome to Chamber Champions. I'm Derek Miller with the Salt Lake Chamber, Utah's voice for business. Each week, we take the opportunity to speak with leaders from business, government, education, and community service organizations who are making a difference in Utah. As a Chamber Champion, these individuals are recognized for their contributions and provided a forum to empower their vision and objectives. Today we're joined with Nikita, McKenna, and Rosario, all from the University of Utah, and all participating in a new and exciting program that we call the Hope Corps. We're grateful that you'll be able to learn more about it today. And we're grateful also that the three of you have joined us, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Why don't we start, for those people who have not heard of the Hope Corps, by just getting an overview of it. And maybe Nikita, if you wouldn't mind leading us off, what is the Hope Corps? What do people need to know?
Yeah, of course. So Hope Corps is an organization, and it's mainly focused to help small businesses and nonprofits during this pandemic. There's a lot of resources that are not being utilized, and our main goal is to help these resources being put out to the right people so they can receive all the funding and all the help they can during this time of need.
Thank you. Rosario, let me ask you just about how the Hope Corps got started. I personally remember having a conversation with Dean Taylor Randall at the University of Utah as the dean of the business school. And, you know, this coronavirus pandemic has disrupted so much. I know we were talking earlier about how it disrupted your summer plans. Tell us a little bit about not just your own experience, but how did the Hope Corps get started and why is it important?
Yeah, so Dean Randall from the business school, he saw that a lot of the students were being let go of their internships or sent home from their internships. So this was started to help students not have the gap in their resume. And with that, like me, I was in New York City working for the Smithsonian National Museum of the American Indian. And 2 weeks before my internship ended, the state was shutting down. So I had to come home as soon as I could. And from there on, I didn't know what to do. And many students felt that way too. They had plans for summer and they were all being told this is probably not going to happen. So then where were we going to get income or where were we going to get experience? So Hope Corps was there to help bridge that gap. And Dean Randall and his team with Ruchi Watson and Catherine Abbey helped.
I think that the brilliance of this program is in its simplicity, in that we have, as you pointed out, Nikita, so many businesses and nonprofits who need help. On the other side, we have so many students, those who've just graduated, who need an opportunity and an experience. And so it's such a great fit, as I said, in its simplicity. And I want to ask each one of you about your experiences. And maybe, McKenna, we can start with you. Tell us what you're doing in the project you're working on with the Hope Corps.
Yeah, so the project I'm working on is the Utah Hero Project, which stands for Health and Economic Recovery Outreach. And this is a project, a public health surveillance project that was started as a way for us to gather more information about the coronavirus. So we are doing a random selection of households in the state of Utah, and then we fill out surveys to get a little bit of demographic information from them. And then we have them come to our mobile testing locations throughout the state so we can test them for coronavirus. And we do both the active COVID-19 test, which is the nasal swab, as well as an antibody test through a little blood draw.
I imagine doing that so important, so needed right now, but probably pretty different than how you expected to spend your summer.
Yes, definitely. It's a lot different than I expected.
Well, thanks for being flexible and thanks for the work and help that you're providing in that much needed effort. Nikita, how about you? What are you working on?
Yeah, so I've done 2 projects so far with Hope Corps. The first one was the PPP project, the Paycheck Protection Program, where we had a database of small businesses throughout Utah. And again, a lot of the funds weren't being utilized. And so we were calling them just to make sure they knew the deadline, how to access the funds. If they had any questions, they could reach out to us. we called about 7,000 businesses. It was a pretty great success. A lot of businesses actually had no idea what this fund even was. And so they went to go reach out to their local bank to receive funding. So that was the first project. The second project that I'm working on right now, I'm actually basically acting as a consultant to a microbrewing company here in Utah. It's a women-led business, which is awesome. She actually wants to expand her business, open up new taps and different lines of seltzers in her business, but she really needs help kind of utilizing all of her resources in terms of budget and bringing on more employees, more salespeople, so she's reaching out to us. So I'm a finance major, and it's really nice that I can utilize these skills that I used during school and learned and actually help a small business here in Utah.
The rapid response team that you were referring to did such great work, and I'm delighted to hear that you were part of that. I think it's one of the big reasons why Utah actually per capita, per business, received more PPP funding than any other state. So thank you for that. Rosario, tell us about your experience this summer.
Yeah, so I got partnered up with the World Trade Center of Utah, which I also helped with the PPP program, and just trying to get all those phone numbers of all the businesses that we can get in contact with. And then I also am helping with looking at different assessments to help small businesses trying to go international or trying to just find manufacturers internationally. And what does that mean, and how we can best try to get what small businesses need as well from them, and as well as looking at how businesses can utilize different industries here in Utah if they're thinking about coming to do business here in the state.
I love the fact that you are at the World Trade Center Utah, because I used to work there.
Oh.
So that's a neat connection.
Yeah.
I also want to ask each one of you about the skills that you're learning through the Hope Corps experience that you're having, and how you think it may apply to either future school or future career. So why don't we just do another around the table here and start with you, McKenna. What kind of skills do you feel like you're learning? Maybe you can start by telling us what are your future plans and how this might be helping you.
Yeah, so I'm a pre-med student at the University of Utah. So I plan on going to medical school to become a physician. And so working on a project like this, so focused on COVID-19 when we're in the midst of this pandemic, is really great experience for me. I'm learning a lot about how public health works, about different projects that we can do to promote public health, and just a lot of like exposure and experience to public health that I didn't really have before. And so that's been super helpful for me, just to get a different perspective of medicine, more of the communication and the public side, rather than just the like the microbiology or just like the I guess, individualized patient care.
Well, you're definitely working on the front lines as far as the healthcare industry goes, and probably have a lot of stories to tell for the rest of your life as you work in the medical profession. Nikita, how about you?
Yeah, so as of right now, my plan is I'll be moving to Seattle in mid of September, and I'm going to be working as a financial analyst for Microsoft. And so there's actually a lot of skills that I've learned in these two projects. I think quantitative-wise, there's been so many different skills just in my major that I've used in regards to financial modeling, just valuation of different companies. In the small microbrewing company that I'm working on right now, just utilizing different software databases and helping her just create a better budget for her long term, and creating future like forecast projections for her company 5 years down the road, including the pandemic and not including the pandemic, has been really helpful. But qualitative, I really learned to be persistent, especially in the Paycheck Protection Program calling campaign that we did. There are a lot of people that either would just not answer, or even if they did answer, they thought we were like scam or just there to bug them during their day. So persistence is key, and I think that can help in really any career that you're going into.
Well, congratulations on your graduation, and congratulations on finding a job. That's not always easy in these tough times. So well done on both fronts, and good luck in your move.
Thank you.
Rosario, how about you?
Yeah, so in school, I focus a lot on design. So with the World Trade Center, I really wanted to do some more market research, which was exactly what I have been doing. So a lot of market research, trying to find different assessments and learning more about international business, which is new to me. I've been local to the United States, never traveled abroad. So learning about international business and how it's done has been really interesting. I've also learned how important it is to stay organized and, like Nikita mentioned, persistent while working at home. It's so easy. You can get distracted so easily, and being on a Zoom call for an hour can be really draining sometimes, but it's all about taking notes and having lots of coffee. So
I admire you that you can be productive working from home. I found that I had to come to the office even if I was just sitting here by myself in the dark in order to get work done. So well done to you. Thanks to all of you for joining us, and thanks for sharing your experiences. I've got one last question. McKenna, I'll leave this question for you to wrap it up for us, and that is, if there are students who are watching this video who are interested in participating in the Hope Corps, how can they do that?
Yeah, so there is a website on the eccles.utah.edu. There's a page that talks about the Hope Corps, kind of what it is and what its purpose is. And there's an email on there that you can contact that will have more information about how you can get involved and what projects you can potentially work on.
Terrific. Again, that website, if I got it correct, was eccles.utah.edu. So we encourage those who are watching to go there and find out more. Thank you, McKenna. Thank you, Rosario. And thank you, Nikita, for joining us today.
Thank you.